Welcome to another edition of Yacht Life Chronicles, where we are better together than separated. We're down here on Court Street, Saginaw, Michigan. We're down here at the Selfie shop, and we're down here with Tanisha today. She has a real unique, pleasant, very something extraordinary for people who's into self love, self care, who's into photography, taking pictures of themselves, you know, and her business is one of the new modern day businesses that's taking place. I always tell you guys about how AI is taking over jobs, and these jobs are being born, from jobs being taken and different things. We have a lot of entrepreneurs that's being creative, with their dreams and their ideas, and she done created a heck of a dream down here. So thank you, Tanisha, for this interview, and thank you for allowing me to come down here today and get this interview. For everybody that don't know you, you would like to introduce yourself and tell them who you are.
Hello, everybody. Hello, world. I am Dr. Tanisha Brooks. I am the owner of Selfie Shop and also Trinity Creations Photography. Um, I am an educator who consults and coaches principals, superintendents, and school districts. I am also a photographer, a lover of memories and making memories that last a lifetime. So that's who I am. I am a very loving, unique person, and I want to make sure that I spread my love throughout the world, and I do that through acts of service in education and also in photography.
Exactly. And we just want to go a little bit back before the selfish shop. Like, you from Saginaw, Michigan,
Born and raised. Yeah.
born and raised. So what were some of the schools you went to?
I am a BB Knight tried and true. It's blue and white all day long. I came from BB, um, daycare or preschool through 12th grade. So I graduated from Buena Vista.
Okay. And what colleges you went to?
So I went to Oakland University for my bachelor's degree in education. Then I went to Marygrove College in Detroit for my master's in education, and then Marygrove College for my doctorate in education and teacher leadership.
Okay. So you got a lot of education.
I do.
And I know it's a lot of people that look up to you for advice, for a lot of, just education that you can help them with, because it seemed like that your journey has been a really prosperous journey. Can you tell us, like, because going through life, you have ups, you have downs, and I know you didn't experience a lot of highs. I know you probably have experienced a lot of lows. On this journey to where you at right now, tell us about some of the low points in your life that you experienced, and how has that impacted you in today as to where you still use those same tools to get through that adversity?
So growing up, we were a big family. We were all about family, and so just holding close to my family. We didn't experience a lot of trauma as kids or anything like that. Just normal childhood. I Out of college, I was married pretty young to my high school sweetheart. We are still together 30 some odd years
Right.
later. So
That's great.
just becoming a young mother while being a professional, being a teacher, and at the time I was maybe 10 years older than my students, and so being a young teacher and having to to manipulate that, having to um, go through school and have young kids and getting a doctorate degree with young kids, and trying to balance that, and so um, I guess my low points maybe sometimes come within myself, where I'm feeling like maybe I'm not doing enough, or maybe I wasn't reaching my kids, and so just trying to deal with the fact that um, just trying to make sure that the kids in my classroom as well as my kids had what they needed to go forward and make it in life. And if you I am friends with a lot of my students, and so if you find them today, they'll say that I'm that person that is always like, you can do it, you can push through. But at some points in my life, I'm like, can I push through? I'm a good cheerleader for others, and sometimes I'm like, can you really do it? And I'm, there's not, there's a lot of low points where I'm struggling with myself, and I don't, I guess they call that like imposter syndrome or something now, right? With like, you're not who you say you are, but you are. I know I'm a hard worker, I know I care, but sometimes I just don't feel like I'm doing enough for me.
Because you feel like it's so much more that you can be doing.
Exactly.
So much
all
more,
the time.
so much more of your book can be written.
Yes.
So what are some of the high points of your journey, man, that you can recall that had like the most impactful moments on your life throughout this journey up to now?
I'll say a high point that has existed all throughout my life is my relationships with people. So I'm a people person. I like relationships. I like to make memories, and I like to make sure that people are in a good space. Maybe I'm not in that good space, but I want to make sure people are in a good space. And so I guess one, I have two goddaughters. Um, that were in two different situations, but they were students of mine, come to my classroom with pigtails, and one is 35 with two kids, and one is 30. She's about to be like 33, and they are still a part of my life. And so that's a high point for me, that I've maintained these relationships with these babies.
Right.
And like one, I have two grandkids that are not my biological, but they wouldn't even know that because they see me as their grandmother, and I didn't teach in Saginaw. I taught in Flint. I drove to Flint every day to give my life to my classroom, to my kids. And so that's a high point that resonates, that I've been able to maintain these relationships, and now I have relationships with their children.
Right. And the thing about, you said something real unique about being a people person. And especially in the business world, you have to know how to be harmonious with people. You know how to be able to you got to be able to put your personal bias, your personal prejudices to the side, and you got to know how to deal with society in a very harmonious way. So, like, where did you get your people skills from? Like, how did you know how did you learn how to connect with people and socialize and be able to fraternize with people in a way as to where you can bring them to your business, and as a way you can be able to promote and advertise your business?
I think it's part of who I am, and my nature. My father used to tell us, I mean, because it was a lot of us, and he would say, your name is everything. You don't destroy your name. You don't make your name bad. And so I treasured that, and I took that. And so I would never put myself in situations or places where I could make my name bad or associated with anything else. And I think in that, I formed a lot of relationships with people, and people knew I was genuine. People know that they can trust me. And I'm a smiler. I love to smile. I love to laugh. And then that brings any anxiety when people meet me. That anxiety comes down. So whether it's in the selfie shop or when I'm taking pictures, it's like, oh my God, you were so this. We felt so comfortable with you. Things like that. And so, just my upbringing taught me to honor relationships and to be that person that people can count on.
Exactly. And with you being a school teacher, and school is a lot different from when you was coming up and I was coming up compared to now.
Right.
We got kids, fourth and fifth graders. We got kids, they not learning literature and arts like they used to. They don't know how to write in cursive. A lot of kids don't know how to read. What do you say? What do you think need to be implemented to improve the school system, or what kind of new and creative ways of teaching we can utilize to be able to help the kids learn more than what they're just learning? And we gotta make it fun for them because they want to deal with social media. They're in the hip hop generation, and we want to make it in a way that they can relate to. So what's your thoughts on that?
That's the key right there, what you said. It has to be relational. It has to be relevant to what they're doing. And so I work with teachers on a daily basis saying that you have to learn how to engage a kid when they walk through the door, and try to keep that until they until they walk out of the door. So you have to give them some of what they get every day as well as what they need. So you have to be able to mix that. If you were to talk to anybody in any of my classrooms, we made a rap CD on, I taught science. And
Mhm.
so we would take the elements and make, I would teach atoms by talking about the movie Friday. I mean, we
Mhm.
could kick it about that. I could
Right.
tell you that, and you'd be like,
Right.
I never understood that. And so those are the kinds of things that we have to employ now in the classroom. Also, we have to make it relevant. We have to make it exciting for the kids, and we also have to be able to. We know that in those 8 hours they're with us, they have to get all that they can because they might not get it when they leave our doors. And so we as educators have to then grab hold of that and do what we can to try to educate kids and be able to what I call teach backward and forward at the same time because kids aren't coming with the skills that they did before. A fourth grader is probably not on their fourth grade level. 90% of fourth graders aren't on the fourth grade level. So then what do we have to do to teach backward and teach forward at the same time? So I could get into that
Right.
all day, but it's really
Right.
about connecting and having that relationship with your kids because if I can trust you, I can learn from you. But if I can't trust you, I'm not going to learn from you. I don't care what you put in front of me.
And a lot of these kids we can learn from today. And a lot of these kids, they're young, but they're washing their own clothes at home. They're
They
taking
are.
care of themselves at home. They're basically being adults. And when they come to school,
It's their
they
safe place to fall.
it's their safe place to fall, and they feel like I shouldn't be treated like a kid. I gotta have responsibilities at home. I have to take care of myself, and so it's like with you being a people person, you have to know how to relate and be harmonious with the kids and be able to understand them in
Hmm.
order to be able to teach them, educate them, and relate to them
Right.
in a certain way.
And also get them to respect you.
Exactly.
And that's how you get them to respect you. I
Hmm.
mean, there has to be some exchange. There has to be some give and take. And
Right.
you respect me, I respect you. But kids that respect you learn from you, and
Exactly.
you won't get somebody's gonna act up anyway. But
Right.
most for the most part, bad behaviors come from bad
Right.
habits. And
Right.
we try to erase those in the classroom as much as we can.
Right. How 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 um how participating is the parents with the kids? Because we have a lot of parents in today's world that don't do the school the meetings, the parent teacher conference, and it's like, where's the parents? Do the parents care? So how do you guys handle that? And what can be implemented to make parents come more to teacher conference to be more active in a
Hmm.
kid's schooling?
Um, so it's a double edged sword. Parents, they have work, they have all these things that maybe they didn't have back in the day, and so um, you almost have to do it without the parent. You almost have to be able to teach the kid without the parent present. Some parents are going to be present for everything. Some are going to be present for nothing, and some it's going to be half and half. And it really teachers have a disadvantage where they can't just always call the parent and the parent is coming up there because I can't. I'm at work. I'm doing this or not. So you just have to kind of, be able to balance and control the environment in the classroom that you can control in those 8 hours
Hmm.
and try to give the kid the best experience they can have
Right.
within those eight
8 hours.
hours that you have them.
Right.
Some things that can get parents more involved are student-led conferencing, where I'm the kid and I got to explain to you why I got these grades. Like, or having activities after school that sometimes feed them. That tends to draw
Hmm.
them because they might not get a good meal. So
Hmm.
you have things, and schools do that. I'm not saying schools don't do that. They do a lot of that, and they still might not get a whole bunch of parents. But also extending your olive branch to the parent, calling the parent on a good phone call instead of always on a bad phone call. So and so did this, did this. How about, oh, so and so did this today? And changing the narrative of I'm not always calling you for something bad. I'm calling you also for something good. And then that gets the parents to trust you. Right. And once you get the parents to trust you, they'll back you up. You know, back in the day, you tell my dad I did something, he coming up there to get me. Right. Now you call, they coming to get you as a teacher. Right. So you got to flip the script, you know, and get on the parent side and get the parents to trust you also.
Right. So really, that teacher-parent it's very important to have that teacher-parent principal relationship, parent-principal relationship.
Yeah.
So tell us, how did you go from teaching to photography? Like, how did you get into visuals? How did you get into pictures? Like, how did all of that come about?
Yep. So I've always, all my life, had a camera in my hand. I can go as far back as when I was I think 10 and took pictures at a Christmas something. My dad, he used to do Polaroid, the videos on the reel. And so every Christmas we would sit down as a family and extended family and watch these reels from back in the day. And so that caught me, and those were our memories, and that was what we treasured. And so I was always the one taking pictures, always the one with memories. Then in my science classroom, I took pictures of all the experiments that we did and things like that. And then there was another teacher. He was a photographer, and he just be like, Brooks, you know, you need to take pictures for real. So I would work with him. We would take pictures at the dances, and we would do things. I became the yearbook coordinator. So then I had to take team pictures. I had to take pictures of the events, and then he and I. Our principal was like, the kids can't afford school pictures, Life Touch. So why don't you and Watts? And so he started taking pictures of the kids for the school yearbook that I was doing. And so we would partner together. And then parents would say, well, can you take my kid's senior picture? Can you do this? And so I'm like, yeah, you know. And that became, okay, when I left Flint and came to Saginaw as an administrator, you know, they were like, oh, can you know, take my kids' senior pictures? So these things started, and I was like, okay, I'm taking pictures, all these different places. I don't have a place to take them, so I started looking for a spot, you know, and I was like, okay. So I got my first brick and mortar on Hamilton, and I mean, it just blew up from there, and I just started, you know, being known as a photographer around here and doing things and doing events and doing trinkets for graduations, and so began the real photography. Yeah.
So when you got into the photography, because you know it gets expensive, you know, and but it's lucrative too at the same time, and you can be so creative with it. Did they ever get to a point where you was like, I don't want to continue this?
No. That's the long and short answer. You know, you get discouraged. There's you know, you get discouraged. There's ebb and flow to photography. There's the new thing. There's, like you said, now AI is out. So people with their phones are competing with us with real cameras now, and almost doing a bang up job. And you're like, okay, but because of my passion for creating memories, I don't let it die. I don't let the vision die, and that's to give people lasting memories that'll last a lifetime. And I can put as much stuff in my phone, but if I don't have something up on my wall, you know, I don't know. You know, you think about the parent or the mother that now has dementia, that they can recognize memories, you know, and things like that. And so it gets to a point where I'm down, like when the business isn't flowing like it's supposed to, but I've never once said I quit.
Yeah, or even thought about giving up.
Never. All right. And you get a remote. The remote is synced to your phone. You just press the button and it takes the picture for you. So we're going to come to our first booth. This is our first booth. The theme is roses, love, kisses, dealing with Valentine's Day. You come in, you sit down, take your pictures. You might grab the wine, you might grab a rose, all of these things, and just take your pictures. So this is our royalty room that's coming back on the scene. We have the throne chairs, we have crowns. You come, get the throne chairs, crowns, take your pictures. This booth is called Treat Yourself. There's little candy bars, big size candy bars that you can take pictures with, and of course the foil walls, which are popular, give you a little razzle dazzle. This is one of our favorite rooms. It's our money room, humble hustle. And this month or this theme is for the love of money. So we got the little red sunglasses in here and a couple more touches that we're gonna add before the weekend. That kind of thing does the love of money. We have our money guns that are always loaded and ready for you to take advantage of. So that's this room. Ready for Valentine's Day. This is our conversation hearts room, just a fun room with the little pillows, the little balloons you can throw up, and that's our conversation hearts room. And of course, with our basketball theme room, being that Valentine's Day is coming, we switched it up to love and basketball, of course. So we got the rim trimmed in red, we got the love and basketball, we got two balls, we got a street ball, and we got a glow ball. I don't know if you can see that, but this ball does a little glowing. So we have the glow ball. Here we have our Vogue wall. So you come in, get the whole wall, come behind, get yourself in the Vogue magazine cover, snap, snap. Come on over to our first class flight. We call it first class flight. We have our first class, and I don't know if anybody has been here, but if you notice through the pictures, the windows change with the seasons. So of course, being that it's winter right now, you're looking out at some mountains and some snow and things like that. We have our Selfish telephone booth. Come in. It has phone in here. Get in, talk on the phone, take pictures like you're talking on the phone. So we know that those 80s pictures with the hearts was one of those things. So friend pictures, things like that. So we have a heart wall here just to bring back that old school vibe, old school feel for the old school pictures. And of course, since we're heading on storm this winter, we got the Ice Me Out, which is the ice blue, and we just have the fun Ice Me Out wall right here. And of course, we've headed into a new year, 2024. So we want to make sure that we toast to the new year and get our pictures with the 2024. And here we have our love themed grass wall with the pink leather couch, pink flowers draping in the lips. And here's one of our fun booths. Live on air, we know the TikTok mic drop is very popular, so we're not getting rid of this anytime soon. We're going to keep it around for a while. You can just come over here, and while you're listening to music, because we play music in here too, you can vibe, you can request your favorite song, and just, do what you need to do. And then this is our record wall, so it kind of just flows in, and we like for people to just stand here, take point to their favorite artist or whatever, and just take pictures on the record wall.
My favorite artist.
So this is our selfie shop. We are open Friday, Saturdays, and Sundays. Fridays 4 to 9, Saturdays 12 to 9, and Sundays 12 to 7. We host parties, brunches, private parties, brunches, baby showers, bridal showers, bachelorette nights. We do our own paint and sips. We do our own mixology classes with Dr. Christine Jackson, and we just have a time here at the Selfie Shop. It's an experience like none other. You don't even have to go to Detroit. We got it right here. Just come right here.
So when you went to the photography, so what precipitated the Selfish Shop, and where did the name Selfish come from?
Gotcha. So as I'm doing photography, I'm thinking about, okay, I need to expand. I need a bigger photography studio, things like that. And so I like sets. I like building sets and things like that. And so in like 2019, into 2019, something came across the internet about selfie museums or whatever they were calling them back then in China. And I was like, oh, wow, a place where I can just leave backdrops and sets up and people come in and enjoy my space because, again, I'm about relationships. I'm about fun. I'm about memories.
Wow.
And so this concept fit right into what I was doing. And I'm like, oh, yes. So, I began to search for places and businesses, COVID was happening, and then they started popping up in Detroit and Vegas, selfie shops, selfie
Selfie
museums.
boutiques.
Yes, stuff like that. And so
Right.
I'm like, oh, wow, like this, I got to hop on this, right? I got to get it. So I started looking for a building. I looked for a building all in 21, into 2021. Found a space, bad deal, didn't go through. They took a cash deal under me. So I was like, okay, all right, whatever. I was like, I'm gonna keep pushing my photography. I'm gonna wait, and the right thing is gonna come up. And December last year, well, September, end of September, I saw the building, and then when my husband and I walked in here, we were like, yeah, it's
Felt
perfect.
it.
We felt it the
Yeah.
minute we walked in the door, and I could just see it coming into fruition the minute we walked in the door. December. I purchased the building in December, and by April, my vision was here, and it was done. And now, I mean, I had already drafted rooms and sets and things in books and stuff, and I just went to work. And people were like, "It took you 4 months," and I was like, "It took me 4 months from conception, from inception to conception to inception." So yeah, yeah.
So where do that creative chromosome come from? Like, did you get it from your mom or did you get it from your dad? Because you gotta be so creative with a selfie shop.
Yeah.
And sometimes like what you were saying about this, bias being winner, we got the winner.
People don't even realize that. Yeah, but
Yeah.
it's something that I'm like, okay, this is a hot spot. So what can I do to this spot to change it up? I don't want to make it not look like a first class airport. So what I do, I change the scene of the windows. People might not even notice. If people have been in here once or twice, they might want to look back at their pictures and see what was in the window before those.
So that you could tell what season you took this picture.
Yeah. Yep.
So how do you come up with the creative selections? Like we have the Vogue, we have the Ice Me Out, we have the Money Vault. Like where do those ideas generate from?
So I'm gonna go back for a second, and you asked me about the name because I do want to talk about the name. So selfish, right? So when we talk about self love, and our theme is self love is the best love. So you have to love yourself, and to it doesn't have to be boastful to love yourself. Or being selfish is sometimes a negative connotation, but I want it to be a positive connotation. That sometimes you need to be selfish about yourself. You need to care about yourself. And so I'm selfish. I'm kind of into myself, but not right. So that's where that came from. Selfish, selfie, and I didn't want to call it a museum because I don't have that big floor plan or big square footage. I wanted to call it a shop. I still have as many booths as those big museums, but it's on a smaller scale. So it's a selfie shop. So that's where that came from. But it's just about thinking about what I want to create, what looks I want to create. I'm always looking on the internet trying to find different things, and I'm like, okay, yeah, I like that. Well, what is my twist on it? Like what is mine gonna look like? Because I don't want to mirror things that I see. I want to see some things and then get my inspiration. So sometimes it's about just what I feel. I'm like, oh, okay. When think about Valentine's Day and the conversation hearts, like that's a big thing. And being an educator, conversation hearts were a big thing back in the school days. So how can I bring that to life? So then I'm like, conversation heart decorations. Okay, all right. Well, what can I do to make that look different and to come to life? And so it's just, I don't know. My mom, she's not really a creative person. My dad was a foreman in the plant. I have no idea where it comes from, but this brain goes 24/7. So
and by you being so intentional with the holidays, being so intentional with the seasons, it's like your brain's just steady working. It's steady working. It's steady working. It's steady turning over, thinking of what can I do next.
Right.
So what's the next best move for the selfie shop? What you got coming up next?
Well, we like to host events. So we didn't host any events in December. We hosted some in November. And it's like a lot of things, we like to do hustle classes here, mixology classes. We do paint and sips. And so in between the end of this month and February, we're going to have lots of different events. And so we're going to try to do some on a repeated basis. I love to karaoke. I'm trying to get a karaoke night that maybe once a week, once a month, something in here. We do karaoke, if you've caught it, live every now and again with my cousins and stuff. So we want to take it on a scale where people come in here, vibe, do karaoke. I've talked to a couple poets about like a poetry slam, poetry night, things like that. So bringing more events to get more foot traffic and get people in my space
and working with the community
absolutely
at the same time.
Yes.
Wanted you to share one of the most memorable moments down here you done had so far, like that a customer, like you could just think and think of a customer that you really had like this shop was really it really did it for them.
So what comes to mind, I did a princess event. So we had one of our people dressed like Ariel, because Ariel was, big. And so just to see 25 little girls in here dressed like princesses and getting they had real teacups and they got to take pictures and they literally thought she was Ariel, and to see those little girls' faces and to be able to get in all the booths with their little dresses on and take pictures. I mean, I just got goosebumps now thinking about it. And so we're going to do another event like that because Mardi Gras is coming up. So we're going to do a Princess Tiana themed event. So where the kids can have like beignets and things. I'm from Louisiana. Well, my parents are from Louisiana. So just put that Mardi Gras theme into the Selfie shop and just have that experience. We had a paint and sip in November, and it was so freeing. We were in here, we were painting. Everybody, they got to choose their paintings, and we talked, we sang, we karaoke, we hustled, and my one of the people was like, I just didn't know I needed this. I just didn't know I needed time to just sit and just do me in an environment where I don't know everybody, but we're just vibing. And so, I mean, we had a Down syndrome event, Shatora Carter, and to see the kids with Down syndrome and the people that came to visit the kids with Down syndrome, just here in the space and letting the kids just be them. I mean, there's so many things I could talk about.
Right.
Yeah.
So when you come down here to the Selfie shop, you can expect to have fun. You can expect to have much excitement.
It's the
And
vibe.
what can they expect as customers coming down here to the Selfie shop?
You can expect the vibe. We have music playing all the time. I have employees that are spot on with taking care of you, making sure that you're doing whatever you need to do, making sure you're getting your right angles. It's just a friendly atmosphere. It's a 1 hour experience, or if you come check out any of the other things we have going on, those are like 2 hour experiences. It's $20 for an hour, $15 for an hour for kids. We would love to have you in our space, have you experience our space, and get to know, what a selfie shop is about. I tend to say we're better than the ones that are, 100 miles plus away. We're right here. We're right down in Old Town. Come here, go to the bar afterwards. Come here, go to Jake's and have a steak afterwards. Go to Robbie D's afterwards. Go to Robbie D's and come here and pick it. We're open, we're here, we're available to the public. We want you to come utilize our space.
And there you have it, man. Wonderful place, wonderful mind, brilliant person down here. And I want you guys to also think about videos, music videos. Think about come down here, creating content.
Yeah.
And networking with her. This is just not selfie shops. This is different scenes and different areas, for movies, videos, and any type of content that you guys trying to create, podcasters.
And we have a professional photography studio in the back. So
she just showed it to me for professional lighting. So she have invested her life, her blood, her sweat, her tears, her
All of
money
it.
into this.
Yes.
Make sure you get down here and support
Yes.
her. You know, very beautiful person Tanisha is. You know, so make sure you come down here and support her shop. We want to wish you guys, you know, a happy new year. You know, this is the first show of Yacht Life Chronicles, you know, down here at the Selfie shop with Tanisha. You know, coming in, wishing y'all happy new year. You know, we wish y'all much prosperity on this year. Make sure you take care of you. Make sure you show yourself self-love,
That's it.
self-care. Well, Tanisha, why is it so important for us to show ourselves self-love and self-care?
Um, we give we're givers all day long to our jobs, to our kids, to our spouses, to everybody else, and sometimes we have to take a minute to show ourselves a little care, a little love, and just being in front of a camera, vibing to music, having fun. I mean, that's one way to show yourself self-love. But like I say, self-love is the best love, because when you take care of yourself, then you can take care of everybody else.
There you have it.
Yeah.
And we're going to leave it on that note right there. So we want to wish you guys a happy 2024. So you got to give them your Instagram, your social media platforms, and things of that nature.
All right, so Facebook is Selfie Shop, Trinity Creations Photography. Our Instagram is Selfie Shop, Selfish underscore Selfie Shop. And our TikTok is the same, is Selfie Shop or Trinity X Selfish. So you can find content from the photography studio and the Selfie Shop in one place on TikTok. And then we have a Trinity Creations Photography Instagram also. And so we're on all social media platforms, and we have a website. So, and they're all linked up together. Websites give you links to the others. Just visit us online, come see what it's about, and come visit us in the space.
And there you have it, man. You know, so come down and support, man. Come and get the experience. Life is about experiences, and this is a beautiful experience that she got down here. I guarantee you, you will not be disappointed once you the first moment you even walk in our shop. You're gonna love it. You know. So this is another entrepreneur, Tanisha, down here at the Selfie Shop down here on Court Street, Saginaw, Michigan. Make sure you guys come out and support. You know. And thank you guys for tuning in to another edition of Yacht Life Chronicles, where we are better together than separated.
Here's to a new year.
Happy New Year.